So, good day everyone. We are Group 1 and today we will be presenting our topic about the nervous systems of animals under the subject of Introduction to Animal Science. So, basically, ang nervous system is very important kaya siya ang control center sa lawas sa hayop. It's help animals to respond to their environment like kung makakita sila og food or makadungog og sounds or maka-feel og danger. So, in animals like cows, sheep, pigs, and chickens, ang nervous system helps them move, eat, reproduce, or react sa stress or sa change sa environment. Without a properly working nervous system, dili sila maka-function og tarong. So in this presentation, we will discuss kung unsa ang nervous system, its main parts, and unsa niya pagtabang sa daily life sa hayop. So we hope nga pinaaging ani nga presentation is maka-understand mo kung nganong importante kayo ang nervous system sa hayop. Thank you and let's get started.
Introduction overview of the nervous system in animals. The nervous system in animals is a system that controls and coordinates body activities. It helps animals receive information, process it, and responds quickly. In animals, the nervous system is important because it allows them to move their body, sense changes in the environment, or react to danger to survive. For example, ang nervous system mao ang communication system sa lawas sa hayop. Function of the nervous system. The nervous system has three functions. First, sensory function. This function receives information from the environment through sense organs. How it works? Sensory receptors detect stimuli. Information is sent to the brain or spinal cord. For example, a cow feels heat from the sun and looks for a shade. A dog hears a loud sound and becomes alert, meaning makabati ang hayop kung unsay nahitabo sa palibot. 2. Integrative function. This function processes and interprets the information. How it works? The brain or spinal cord analyzes the signal, decides what action to take. For example, a goat feels pain, then the brain understands danger and decides to move away. A pig sees food, then brain recognizes food, then prepares the body to eat, meaning maguna-una ang og magdesisyon ang nervous system. Motor function. This function produces a response or action. How it works? Signals are sent to muscles or glands. Body performs an action. Example, a cow runs when it senses danger. A cat jumps after hearing a sudden sound, meaning ang lawas muliyok based sa desisyon sa utok. Main parts of the nervous system. The nervous system has two main parts. First, central nervous system or called as CNS. Parts, brain and spinal cord. Brain inside the skull, then spinal cord inside the backbone. Functions, controls body activities, processes, and sends instruction. Then brain, main control center, controls thinking, behavior, and movement. Ang spinal cord connects brain to the body, responsible for fast reflex actions. Then from the label diagram, brain controls the whole animal body. Then spinal cord allows quick response like pulling away from pain. Next, peripheral nervous system or called as PNS. Parts, somatic and autonomic nerves. Location outside the brain and spinal cord or found all over the body. Functions, connect CNS to body parts. The next, sends signals to organs and muscles. Next, somative nervous system. Controls voluntary actions, for example, walking, chewing, and running. Autonomic nervous system. Controls involuntary actions, for example, heartbeat, breathing, and digestion. From the label diagram, cranial nerves control head and face. Spinal nerves control body movement. Sciatic nerve helps movement of hind legs. Vagus nerve controls heart and digestion. So, in conclusion, the nervous system helps animals sense, decide, and act. Without it, and animals cannot move, react, or survive in their movement.
So, the central nervous system is the main control center of the animal body. It receives information from the senses, processed it, and decided how the body should respond. It has two main components, the brain and the spinal cord. So the brain controls thinking, memory, emotions, and voluntary action. It processes sensory information and sends commands to the body. So, for example, when a cow sees a food bucket, the brain analyzed the information and decided to move towards the body, the food. And for the spinal cord, serves as the pathway or messages between the brain and the body. It also controls reflex actions, which are the fast and automatic responses. So, for example, when a goat suddenly touches a hot or a sharp object, it quickly moves away without thinking. This reflex action helps prevent injuries in animals. So, as you can see in the picture below, the spinal cord has a gray matter that processes information and the white matter that transmits signals. And according to Franson et al. 2009, the brain is divided into three main parts: the forebrain, midbrain, and the hindbrain. So the forebrain includes the cerebrum and hypothalamus. It is responsible for voluntary movements, sensory perception, and thinking and decision making. So, for example, when chickens remember its feeding time and recognize its owner, the forebrain is involved. So, for the midbrain, it is involved in vision, hearing, muscle control, and body position. So, when a cow reacts quickly to a loud sound of the tractor, the mindbrain controls this quick response. So, for the hindbrain, it has the cerebellum, pons, and medulla oblongata. It controls balance, coordination, breathing, heart rate, and awareness of the surroundings. So, for example, a cow or a horse walks on uneven or muddy ground. The hindbrain helps maintain the balance and proper movement. For the peripheral nervous system connected to the sinus to the different parts of the body, it transmits signals that allow animals to sense their environment and movement. So it has two main components, the sensory nerves and the motor nerves. So for the sensory nerves, it carries information from the body to the sinus. So when a pig feels pain during injection, the nerves transmit the pain signal to the brain. So for the motor nerves, carry information from the sinus to the muscles and glands. For example, when a brain sends signal for a goat to walk or run, motor nerves deliver the command to the muscle. For the somatic motor nerves, it controls the skeletal and the muscles, while the autonomic motor nerves controls the breathing, heart rate, and the digestion in animals. So PNS allows communication between the brain and the body.
So in this part, everyone, we're talking about the morphological types of neurons. So neurons is a special cells in nervous system that is responsible for receiving, processing, and sending information sa tibok lawas sa usa ka hayop. So una is mao ni siya ang unipolar neurons. Ang unipolar neurons is na siya usa ka process nga mogawas gikan sa cell body. So kasagaran ni sila makita sa mga invertebrates sama sa mga insects and sa mga ulod. Ang ilang trabaho is mao ang pag-transmit sa nerve impulse gikan sa usa ka lugar padulong sa lain. So, for example is sa mga insects. So, ang unipolar neurons is makatabang sa mga insects sa simple nga pamaagi, sama sa paglakaw, paglihok sa ilahang makatiil o paglupad gamit ang ilahang mga pako. So, tungod ani nga ni neurons is makarespond dayon ang usa ka hayop sa ilahang palibot. So, ang ikaduha is mao ang bipolar neurons. So, ang bipolar neurons is na sila'y usa ka axon o napon sila isa ka dendrite nga makita ni sila kasagaran sa sensory organs sa hayop. So, ang ilang function is mao ang pagdala sa sensory information sama sa kahayag ug baho sa palibot padulong sa nervous system. So, for example is sa mata sa usa ka hayop. So, ang bipolar neurons is makatabang sa pagkakita pinaagi sa pagdala sa signal gikan sa retina. So, sa ilong pod is same ra gihapon, sila gihapon ang responsible sa sense of smell sa usa ka hayop sa pag-ila sa baho nga masimhot sa hayop. So, makasend din sila og sense gikan sa ilong padulong sa nervous system. So, ang ikatulo is mao ang pseudonipolar neurons. So, ang pseudonipolar neurons is mao magsugod ni sila isip usa ka bipolar neurons pero sa pagdako mahimong usa ka long process nga mabahin sa duha. So, makita ni sila sa peripheral nervous system. So, unsa ang naa sa peripheral nervous system? Mao ang automatic and somatic neurons. So, ilahang function is for example ni ini is so kini nga neurons is makatabang sa hayop nga maka-feel og sakit, so kainit, katugnaw, labi na sa lahang sense of touch nga. So pananghilitan is kung matandog ang init nga butang sa usa ka hayop, ang pseudonipolar neurons is magpadala dayon siya og signal sa utok aron malikayan sa usa ka hayop. So, ang ikaupat is mao ang multipolar neurons. Ang multipolar neurons kay naa siya isa ka axon og daghan nga dendrites. Og mao ni ang pinaka-common nga klase sa usa ka neurons na makita sa central nervous system. So, unsay naa sa central nervous system? Mao nga ang ato ang brain ug ato ang spinal cord. So, ilang function is responsible sila sa motor control o information processing. So, for example is sa mga hayop, ang multipolar neurons is mao na ang mag-control sa paglihok sa usa ka muscle sama sa paglakaw, pagdagan o pagnganga sa usa ka hayop o pagkaon. Sila usab ang makatabang sa pag-coordinate sa lihok sa lawas sa usa ka hayop. So, overall, in conclusion, no, ang lain-lain klase sa neurons is nagtinambangay sila aron ang hayop makadawat sa information. So, in this part, I will be going to discuss about the types of neurons based on their functions sa animals. So, ang neurons kay mao ang basic unit sa nervous system nga responsible sa pag-transmit og signal sa lawas sa mga hayop. So, first is mao ang sensory neurons. So, ang sensory neurons is mao sila ang mo-carry sa signals gikan sa sensory organs sa animals sama sa ilahang panit, sa ilahang mga mata, sa ilahang dalunggan, padulong sa central nervous system, which is ang brain ug ang spinal cord is mo respond sila sa different stimuli like touch, light, sound, and temperature. So example, kung ang iro is makahikap og init nga yuta, ang sensory neurons is mo detect sa kainit ug mo send dayon sa og signal padulong sa brain. So next is mo ato ang motor neurons. So ang motor neurons is sila ang mo-carry sa signal gikan sa central nervous system padulong sa muscle o glands sa usa ka hayop. Sila ang responsible sa movement o reaction sa mga hayop. So, for example, if human na ma-process sa brain ang signal, ang motor neurons is muhatod og commands sa muscle aron mo palayo ang iro sa init nga yuta. So, moto. So, lastly, mo ang interneurons. From the words inter, so mag-connect. So, ang interneurons kay makita sulod sa central nervous system sa animals. Ang ilang main function kay i-connect ang sensory neuron ug motor neurons. So, sila ang responsible sa information processing o reflex action. So, ang interneurons is mo ni siya ang mag-connect sa duha ka neurons, ang sensory ug ang motor para ang usa ka hayop maka-process dayon aron makahawa ana nga situation. So, makita sa atong example. So, for example is sa reflex action sa hayop, ang interneurons is mo ang nag-process sa signal ug nag-decide nga mupalayo dayon ang hayop. So, gikan sa sensory, na-send sa usa ka hayop, gikan sa motor neuron, nag-send ang sensory neuron sa brain nga padulong sa muscle para ang usa ka hayop mapalayo ana nga situation. So, in summary, ang sensory neurons mo detect og stimuli. Ang interneurons is mo process sa information og ang motor neuron is mo perform sa action sa animals. Thank you. So, in this slide is makita nga to tulo ka types sa neurons based on their functions, and each picture is napakita sa lain-lain nga rules sa neurons. So first picture is the sensory neurons. Kani nga picture is nagpakita siya nga ang sensory neuron is mo receive og signals gikan sa senses. So for example is kung ang animals is maka-feel og pain, kainit or pressure, ang kaninga neuron is modawat sa signal og mo send nini padulong sa brain or sa spinal cord. So siya ang first step sa response sa lawas sa hayop. So next picture is the interneuron. Sa second picture is ang interneuron is makita nga nag-connect sa lain-lain neurons. So ang trabaho nila kay mo process og information nga nadawat gikan sa sensory neuron. So in simple words, siya ang middleman nga mo decide unsay buhaton sa lawas before mo response. So ang last is mo ni siya ang motor neuron. Sa last picture is makita nato nga ang motor neuron is connected sa muscles. Kani nga neuron is nagpadala og signal gikan sa brain padulong sa muscles or glands para molihok tayo ng animal. So for example is kung ang hayop is mulikay sa kainit, ang motor neuron is ang mukos sa muscles nga mulihok. So ang motor neuron siya ang responsible para if makasense na ang hayop, makasend din siya og message sa brain nga para makalihok ang hayop. Kaya siya ang responsible sa muscle sa hayop.
Diffuse nervous system. This is the simplest type seen in creatures like jellyfish and hydra. Instead of having a central control point, nerve cells are scattered all over their bodies in a network. When one part is stimulated, signals spread out in many directions, kind of like ripples in water. Since there's no brain or spinal cord, responses are basic and slow, mainly helping them move or react to things like food or danger in their immediate surroundings. The next is ladder-like nervous system. Ladder-like nervous system or flatworms such as planaria have this setup. It's a step it's a step up in complexity. Two long nerve cords run along the length of their body, with smaller nerves connecting them at regular intervals, shaped just like a ladder. This arrangement lets signal travels more efficiently than in a diffuse system, allowing flatworms to move in a more coordinated way to respond to stimuli with better directionality. Centralized nervous system. This is what complex animals, including us humans, have. The brain acts as the main control center, and the spinal cord carries signals between the brain and the rest of the body. Having all this centralized means signals move much faster, and we can process information, remembering things, make decisions, and carry out complicated actions like solving problems or playing sports. It's why these animals can adapt to more varied and challenging environments. Nervous system and vertebrates. First is fish. Their brains are small relative to body size because their needs are focused on basic survival. Since they live in water, most of their behaviors revolve around finding food, like detecting prey, movements, or scents, avoiding being eaten, reacting quickly to predator shapes or vibrations, and navigating their aquatic habitats. There's no need for complex decision making, so their nervous system is streamlined for this simple instinct driven action. And next is birds. Birds' flight demands incredible coordination to control wings, balance, and speed. Hence, their well-tuned nervous system for movements, their sharp senses like keen eyesight for spotting prey or landmarks, and a strong sense of direction also rely on sophisticated network of nerves. This lets them do amazing things like migrate thousands of miles using stars or Earth's magnetic field, or react in an instant to catch insects mid-air or escape danger. And lastly is mammals. Mammals is a larger, more complex brain, means we and other mammals can process more information and adapt to changing situations. For example, a dog can learn commands, a dolphin can solve puzzles to get food, and humans can create tools or understand abstract ideas. Features like a highly developed cerebral cortex, the brain's thinking area, allow for memory storage, social bonding, and problem solving, helping mammals thrive in nearly every environment on Earth. And fun fact, mammals have bigger and more developed brains than fish, which is why they can learn tricks, solve problems, and even recognize faces, while fish mostly rely on instinct. Here are the step by step on how it works. First is stimulus. Stimulus, which is a change in the environment, internal or external, that triggers a reaction, for example, touching something hot. Second is sensory neuron. These cells detect the stimulus and send electrical signals to the central control area. In the hot object example, sensory neurons in the skin pick up the heat signals. And the third is brain or spinal cord, which is the central processing unit. If the signal goes to the spinal cord, it can trigger a fast reflex. If it goes to the brain, it also involves processing and decision making. The fourth is motor neuron. Carries the response order from the brain or spinal cord to muscles or glands. The fifth is response. Response, the body reaction to the stimulus like quickly pulling away or running from the hot object. And organization of the nervous system. The entire system is split into two main parts, which is the CNS or known as central nervous system, the control center, made up of the brain, handle complex thinking, memory, and regulation. And spinal cord transmits signal and manages reflexes. And the second part is PNS or peripheral nervous system that connects the CNS to the rest of the body. And na siya'y mga under which is the under system which is the sensory system. Sensory system gathers information from the body and environment via sensory neuron. And the next is motor system that sends signals to control movement and functions. And somatic nervous system that controls voluntary actions like walking or picking up an object. And the last is automatic nervous system that manages involuntary processes like heartbeat, breathing, or digestions. Thank you.
Animal production is important because it provides a reliable source of nutritious food such as meat, milk, eggs, and other animal products that are essential for human health, creates employment and income for farmers and workers along production and processing chain, supports crop agriculture through the supply of manure, farm power, and efficient use of crop residues, contributes significantly to national and local economic development through trade and value-added products, helps in the effective use of natural resources by converting grasses and agricultural byproducts into high-quality food, and plays important social, cultural, and traditional roles in many communities around the world. Animal behavior helps livestock animals adapt to new situations by enabling them to learn from past experiences, respond appropriately to changes in their environment, modify their natural instinct, and develop new skills that improve their survival, health, and productivity. For example, cattle can learn to navigate feeding systems or avoid dangerous areas. Poultry can adapt to new housing or feeding routines, and sheep or goats can adjust to changes in grazing conditions. This ability to adapt through behavior and learning also allows livestock to cope with challenges, such as changes in diet, handling by humans, exposure to new climates, social interactions within herds or flocks, and farm management practices. By understanding and supporting natural behavior and learning in livestock, farmers can improve animal welfare, reduce stress and injuries, increase productivity, and ensure that their animals thrive even under changing or challenging farm. In conclusion, the nervous system is a vital system in animals that controls and coordinates all body activities, allowing them to sense, respond, and to interact with their environment. It works by detecting stimuli, transmitting signals through neurons, and integrating information to produce appropriate responses such as movement, behavior, and regulation of body functions. Morphologically, it is divided into central nervous system, which includes the brain and spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system, which connects to the rest of the body. Neurons, the function units of nervous system, consist of a cell body and that receives signals, and an action that sends signals to the other neurons, muscles, or glands. By coordinating these processes, the nervous system enables animals to maintain homeostasis, adapt to changes and avoid danger, and carry out essential life functions.